Hi, Ron.
Byron.
First of all, I want to thank you for hosting this event. Been learning a lot from your letters, and this is another great opportunity. I started my investment company 2 years ago, based on the advice Rob gave me, basically because the value or the investment managers that I admired didn't really want to hire me. So I started out on my own.
If ever I need number two, you're first on the list.
I'm not sure about that. Thank you. I've got two questions where I think I can still learn a lot. One is on selling, because investment managers like yourself who have a high conviction and do a lot of research and really know the companies in and out and have an admiration for the management. We sort of get attached to those companies and we have a lot invested in them. Because they're great companies and they have that type of management, we think these things are rare. So we tend to stay with them. But at the same time, I struggle with the fact that, you know, every year when I look at stocks in the universe, they go up or down 50 to 70% from the bottom tick to the highest point. So I think, okay, there's a lot of opportunity and mispricing going on in the market. I love this company. I really am a fan of that management, and long term, I believe in this stock. I struggle to say, okay, when is the right time to say, you know, all the emotions and conviction that I have for that versus the opportunity that exists elsewhere because of mispricing. How do you, and I would like to know how you balance those. Do you have a threshold where you say, no, typically I want to stay with this company for a very long time, but now I see a company that is trading just way below, the mispriced way below, and I want to do that. And then I have a question regarding it.
Okay, so let me take that first. So that's probably the question I get most often, especially from very thoughtful people that kind of look how I invest and agree with a lot of how I do things, but there they kind of struggle. You know, first of all, you know, I do sell things. You know, I sold Baidu last year, for example, and you know, the main reason I'll sell something is if I kind of think I maybe have made a mistake. So I'm looking for kind of, you know, the hypothesis for every company I invest in is that, you know, this is a great company with wonderful managers and a huge opportunity in front of it. And then, of course, sometimes information crops up which is sort of disconfirming. So, you know, in the case of Baidu, I was very disappointed about the way they'd been handling their medical search business and probably some of the other businesses as well. And when that happens, I sell in an instant. And well, actually, I took a few months before I reached a decision. But I don't feel wedded to the position or to what I might have said about the company in the past. I think everyone understands if a mistake is made, it needs to be corrected. You know, so that's a really good reason to sell something. And then sometimes people ask me, and I think that's where your question was heading. Yeah, that's clear. That's all very well. But what if you buy this company and it's got a great management and this wonderful opportunity, and you're right, and it compounds at 15, 20% a year over 5 years, and then it becomes too expensive. And I'm like, I'll take that problem. You know, that's really a luxurious problem to have. Is, you know, all these companies where the analysis has been 100% right, and you know, the share price has appreciated 200 or 300%. Then that's kind of not my definition of a risk. That's actually my definition of a process which has worked well.
Yeah, and that's of course right. But I wanted to know, do you have a threshold where you say, you know, I think with the appreciation that the stock has done, now my expected return going forward is X, and maybe I have something that is doing X plus 5. And although I really believe still in the long-term picture of this company and the modes and the management, here I'm getting maybe X plus 5%, so I'm going to switch. Do you have a threshold where you do that?
Yeah, I think your question almost kind of contains the answer, which so I think you're on the right track. So I mean, ultimately, it always comes a little bit back to kind of opportunity cost, and you know, if I have, and I think about these things in a very big picture way. I don't have a detailed DCF, which is sort of jumping around, but in a very big picture way, if I have a company in the portfolio which is substantially more highly valued than another one, and perhaps has an inferior growth outlook, or in other respects of the investment hypothesis, it's inferior. And I think it's obviously the rational thing to do is to change from the one to the other. But it has to be very clear, though. As everybody knows who's ever invested in the stock exchange, kind of your expectations in terms of a company's earnings power can be very wrong. And the good thing is, if the analysis about the company and the business is right, it's very wrong in the right direction. So it tends to work out way better than you thought. So I would be very hesitant to sell one thing because I thought I was getting something I know less well, maybe a slightly cheaper PE or whatever the metric is. But if something is really very obvious, then I think that's a good reason to sell. Yeah.